I take the pleasure of introducing to you our next speaker, who has been a great mentor to me and an even greater friend. The way Gopen is able to take any challenge and any difficult situation and make the best out of it is a trait that I've always admired. Today, he'll be sharing his inspiring entrepreneurial journey, and he'll be talking to us about the bitter truth about failure. Please don't mistake him for Barack Obama again. Yes. So let's all give him a warm round of applause and welcome him on stage.
I was given the impression that I will be the first speaker today. And I was very happy after Leno and Linton. I really don't know how to speak now. Really, it was so great listening to you, Linton, and I'm a customer of your coffee. I have a guest house in Imphal. We call it happily EA Guest House. When Nagas from Nagaland come, they take the comfort of staying in my guest house, which is called EA Guest House. And my locality from the Meitei communities, yours is only Naga people staying. Why don't you also open to it? Yeah, it is open. But Naga happened to take that advantage. So in my guest house, I used to give unlimited tea and coffee. And I also give unlimited water. So a man will drink how many water, how much of coffee. And when you go to the big hotels, they used to keep 2 pouches for a coffee, a tea, and that's enough for the day, a 5-star hotel. If we want a refill, we have to request. I somehow did not like the idea. After paying 5,000-6,000, they even limit ourselves to having only 2 cups of coffee. So I said, unlimited tea, unlimited coffee. Yeah. We keep other coffees. When many people take your coffee. Many people take your coffee. And I had the privilege of hosting some retired people from Kerala for about 3 days in my guest house. And they said, we want coffee in the morning. And in the afternoon, we want coffee. Then in the evening, sir, what coffee? So they all are coffee consumers. And I said, I have a special coffee. Would you like to take it? It's a local coffee. I said, oh, Manipur coffee? We have not heard about it. We want to taste it. No, it is a Naga coffee. So we have given your coffee. And they said, it looks like our Kerala coffee. When it is good, they always want to say that it is like ours. So I'm a goodwill ambassador of your coffee, man. Anyway, so we have had a lot of fun around business, and that's very interesting to listen to you and also listen to Leno. It's very inspiring stories. I'm supposed to talk about failure in business. Why you are showing funny face? I have never looked at failure from the academic point of view. Many people give wonderful lectures. Many people give, tall talks about failure, but I think it is all useless. People can make so much of fame around talking negative things. So I thought when I do something, I will forget the negatives. I will only focus on positives. So in my journey of business, I only thought of success. Failure never came to my mind. Studying deeper into it or trying to understand from perspective of the people, I actually realized that failure is actually part of success. Isn't it? Then, if we all want to be successful, why think about failure? If failure happens, it's part of success. So that failure happens because I'm going to be successful, isn't it? So when failure happens, when things do not work according to what you think or what you like, then you must acknowledge that success is coming. Isn't it? Because failure is part of success. So business people cannot think about failure. If it happens, it happens. Because it is going to be part of my success. So that kind of a notion, I imbibed myself and started my business living a very coveted, respected, so-called job in the United Nations. I was a good student when I started my studies, and I went to a premier institute in Manipur, in the school, where from a rural person, background like me, and not from a very rich background, could not even think of studying in those kind of school. So from that time, my villagers, my community members started looking at me as somebody successful, even to get into that school. So I was already looked at as a successful boy. Then I did my further studies. I started working. Then God has been extra kind to me. I went from one agency to another. I worked in development funding agencies, which supports NGOs to do good work for the people, to do work of welfare, and to help the poor people. So that was my profession. And I went up to the UN. Then this success story attached to me was growing greater and greater. One fine morning, influenced by a madman, M-A-D, mad, making a difference man. That was none other than Nichite Dulo. When he was starting his career, in the time of initial EA time, very difficult time, when he was selling tea, running from shop to shop in the supermarket, I have been with him. I have the fortune of knowing him from that time. We used to go, I was stationed in Guwahati. We used to go from shop to shop trying to buy things, cheap things, to sell it here in Kohima with a profit. I may not like to tell those lists of things: spoon, cups, plates, plastic items. Whatever comes on his way, he used to buy. And I used to wonder what this fellow is going to do. So that, we have been together with him from that time. So, and he always said that, your job is good. Your job is good. At the end, he said, but it's limited. At the end, he keeps on saying this, but it's limited. Beyond a point, your job will not make you rich. But I am so engrossed with my work. I was like getting possessed by a spirit, and I was working. And so much so, I'm very proud to say that at a young age, I climbed the corporate ladder and became Northeast representative, Northeast directors for these agencies, very young at age. So the success that is associated with me and my name and my image, and Nishite is saying that it is limited. It is limited. I started, thinking. And one fine morning, when I left the job and came back home, everybody said, I am mad. One of my well-wisher friends, who is a lady from Bihar, whom we are still in touch, when I left the job, she's my boss and said, Gopen, pagal ho gaya kya? And said, yes, I have become mad. You know what is the meaning of mad? In my case, it is making a difference. I am going to make a difference in my community and leaving this job. So we all belong to this mad club. All of us are going to make a difference. So, yes or no? We all belong to this mad club. Entrepreneurs are mad. They are crazy. They will always try to make a difference. Let me tell you a story which is of very recent times. 3 months ago, I have taken my second son, who is not so good in studies. I said, he finished his matriculation, and I actually don't know what to do with him. He's not good in studies. So I have a trading business. I thought of just pulling him in, sit in the shop, look after this finance, look after this account, let me do the runaround. That is what I was thinking. So, and he is one kind of a person whom I cannot pressurize. If he pressurizes, he'll go something different. So I allowed him to think and grow in his own way, a little boy. Then he said, Papa, I'm not a good student. I don't want to study too much. He said, yes, then what do you want to do? I'm going to be in business, so let me study something in line with business from my 11 onwards. See, he's thinking, I'm not a good student. I will not do well, I know. But since I'm going to be in business, from 11 onwards, he has seen his brother, elder brother, going from tuition to tuition and, getting up early in the morning and coming back late. He got scared of the situation. And he said, I don't want to study normal. I don't want to do these normal studies. Let me do some studies in business. But do you think business studies will be easy? It may not be easy, but let me do business studies. So I started browsing the internet, where a 11th class student can study something to do with business. Then there was one institute which offered a course on Diploma in Business Administration, which you can study after matric. That is in LPU, Lovely Professional University. So it's a bit expensive. So I have taken him there. He got through the entrance test. Then I have taken him there. And we took also another cousin of his, who was admitted to BTech engineering. So his father and me and my son, 4 of us went together. And since ours was a little later, we landed up there some 4 or 5 days early. And we attended, after the admission process is over, we attended the induction session. Some of you may know how this university does it. The induction session of these BTech students with their parents. So we are not in that department, but we somehow, since we had time, we went together with them and listened. The head of department of BTech engineering section talked to welcome the students, and he said, 10 years from now, I want all of you to dream to be a CEO of the companies. And here there is a platform for you to achieve this. Look at his talk. And people clap hands, parents were getting up and very happy to get that kind of a motivation. My son, not so good in studies, came out after the session and said, Papa, what is CEO? And, because he doesn't know. What is CEO? I said, CEO is this, and when the company is led by him and under him, there's a lot of, is CEO the owner of the company? No, he's an employee. He gets his salary, yes. So he's only an employer. So I thought, I received the first dose of reward for taking my son to the college. He started thinking, CEO means he's the only employer. 2 days later, we went to the business department where my son and me were inducted to the environment of that study. And the head of the department of the business school of Lovely Professional University, Punjab, said, remember, boys, I want you to think of how to change this country. Look at the difference. The engineering head of department said, CEO. And the business department head of department said, I want you to think how to change this country, how you can contribute to this country. This can be done only by an entrepreneur. I was very happy. Look, my son started thinking in that line. It's not about being a CEO, being an employee. It's about creating employment and innovating things to bring about change and help the people and out of it make money. Yes or no? That is entrepreneurship, my dear friends. That is entrepreneurship. Getting back to my story. When I left my job and came back home, that success story associated with me, attached to my life from my innocent childhood, disappeared at no time. Patak, it went off. The first is my wife. My wife thought at that time, which she told me very recently, when I left my job and came back home, she said, my husband, yes, he will love me. He will love me. But I don't think we are going to be a happy life. We will not have much money. I mean, that's innocently she was thinking about it. Then all this success story attached to me went off in a fraction of a second and said, Gopen, you left your job. What are you going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do, but leaving the job is what I'm doing. So that answer went on for about 6 months. For about 6 months, leaving the job, what I was doing. Then one person who continuously talked, the time was Nishite. Then I said, Nishite, I'm going to start water business. And Nishite said, there are many other business possibilities. Slightly saying that water is not a good business. And somehow I wanted to prove this man wrong. So deep inside, I was challenging him. What he said was this: you have come out from the United Nations, you have come out from the corporate world, they may be expecting you to do something nice and big, and water, nobody takes it seriously. So that was what he meant. So I started my water business. Just to impress my wife and Nishite, I used to say, when I sell only 10,000, I used to say 50,000. I sold for 50,000. Really? He said, yes, yes, yes. So like that it grew, and Nishite did not believe that I sold for 50,000 in the initial stage, and after 2 years, Nishite did not believe that I sold for 5 lakhs. What a word, 5 lakh per day. Nishite also did not believe it. So that's how I have grown. And there are many little funny stories of failure associated to it, but I want to just brush all this failure thinking in what you do. Because failure is part of success. If it is part of success, why do you think about it? Yes or no? So work as if failure does not exist. Work as if failure does not, you don't know failure. You get a little religious and read the Bible and see how many times the Bible mentions don't worry. How many times in the Bible? 365 times, don't worry, I am with you. It's mentioned in the Bible. Why should you worry? On daily basis, Jesus is telling you not to worry. And why you worry about failure? What do you worry about what my parents will say? What do you worry about what my friends will say? Many examples are here already. Isn't it? So my dear friends, I have a lot of funny little stories to tell you about failure and facing failure. Then when I browse the Google, I also realized that all what I thought is available in the Google. Many people say what I thought. And I found it in the Google, so let me not explain to all of you again, wasting your time. Okay? Do whatever you want. Success is your destiny. Hard work is your culture. And be happy. Thank you very much.